kind of a response it got to the FPO yesterday?
Yes, good morning, Awan. Good morning, Aisha. Well, I was thumping the table that please do subscribe, and it was 0.5 when we came in the morning, got 7 times. I think this is the best pick of the month, year, and for the next 2 years. So if you are looking at a steady business which can give you 100% and more returns, that's what idea. The capex will add to the money rate will add to the capex which has been missing. And look at ARPUs 142 against Jio's 182. I'm looking at ARPUs expanding to 200, which will mean a 42% EBITDA will now go in actual profits because servicing of debt will also become a neutralized. I think this is going to be one of the stars of the year, and it must be in your portfolio. So definitely a thumbs up from my side. And I think this could be like I said, the stock of the month, year, and maybe the next 2 years.
Okay. Sanjiv, hi, morning. Wondering whether Tejas Networks was on your list at all or not. That huge spike ahead of the numbers yesterday itself before closing on the stock. I think it shot up about 18%. And what a turnaround quarter it's been for the company.
Good morning. Yes, Aisha, Tejas Network is one of our much, stock which we got in at much lower level. This is when the whole game plan for the acquisition and growth in, your whole tech was expanding. And I think that the time Tejas Network was very, very attractive price. It just needed the right fillip as a capital or an infusion of a proper promoter. And that has played out brilliantly. I cannot this stock to 1,000 rupees, but 1,000 rupees is definitely coming. In the wireless network, I think this is going to be unquestionably the biggest play. So as a disclosure, we have it from much lower levels. We don't intend to sell given that it will be difficult because of the low flow equity to really get into these type of stocks, even if there is a correction after results. But I think large part of the positives are built in. We have to wait for the results to look further on the game plan going ahead.
Sanjiv, what about Reliance though? While OTC has managed to offset the weak retail and Jio numbers, which have been largely in line, but it's not a marker set which is going to really move the, the stock up.
Well, yes and no. This has been one of the biggest outperformers as far as the index goes. It has taken the double weight of HDFC Bank's underperformance, and now the next game plan will be the individual listing of Jio, which is going to be, very, very big value unlock. Now, Aisha, you cannot weigh such a big company's numbers, which has a turnover of more than 1,20,000 crore differently in different sectors. Couple will outperform, couple will not. I think the ARPUs at 180 were very, very steady and strong. Those are looking higher. I also think the OTC business is now, gone through that cycle of China destocking or inventory, and specialty chemical particularly looking very, very good. So if anything, OTC can be a good performer, and retail will be in line because their expansion of new outlets is going to eat into the margins for the time being. But I think all businesses are doing well. Also, kindly note that their new energy business is starting to show a lot of traction, and I think that will be the real, icing on the cake in the coming quarters. The stock may not do much in the next few days because of lot of the part of the news built in, but over a period of time, I think Reliance end of the year can be closer to 3,500.
Okay, fair enough. That's the view coming in on some of the interesting makers as well that Sanjiv is tracking. In the meantime, let's also check in on what the brokerage calls are as well. And apart from Reliance Industries, of course, which is dominating the brokerage radar, there's a view on Natco Pharma. Investec believes that the company has the ability to generate significant EBITDA for the next few years after a bit of a lull. And there's also Persistent System, where Nomura believes that growth is resilient and deal wins have moderated in the quarter gone by. Let's get your thoughts then, Sanjiv, on Natco Pharma.
Well, this has been a star performer. Pharma was had a sharp downturn after the effect of COVID played out, but I think some of the generic and local producers have exceedingly well. I think Natco Pharma still has room on the side. We will wait for numbers, but the main thing for them would be how fast they can improve their margins against their relative generic costs of R&D. That would be the main key. But I think pharma is in a very sweet spot. Over here, Lupin continues to be our big bet. 700 has become 1600. We think this is on for 2,500. This quarter results of Lupin may be the best we've seen in the last 2 years. As a disclosure, Lupin and Dr. Reddy are two of our topics.
Like Dr. Reddy and Lupin, is there anything specific which could be a trigger in the short term? Because for pharma, it's always about getting the trigger right.
So I think, Nikunj, the change in environment in the US where generic pricing is getting more predominance, some of the new product launches, and locally the business expanding. Also, if you see the CIF where Dr. Reddy has been a big play, those there over there, the pricing power is back. And that could be the other. Plus, pharma becomes a very good proxy to a weak rupee. Because if you see, IT has been, there's been debate on AI and so on. Whereas pharma and contract pharma particularly, I think is a very, very sweet business. This is what IT was 20 years back. It became a mainstay. Pharma, particularly the contract farming, is here to stay for the many, many years, which is there. And I think that, select stocks, you can add a DVs on, we are waiting for the results because they underperform. But some of these plays can be very, very strong in the slightly longer term.
Okay, fair enough. That's the take coming in on some of those stocks within the entire pharma basket. Meantime, Sanjiv, given that we're talking about this big travel boom, yesterday Clear Trip was with us saying that the demand is like never before, hotel prices going up, airfares, stocks related to this, what is it you'd look at?
So, Aman, last weekend, I was in Vietnam. First time I went there. And I can tell you, hotels were chock-a-block. The airlines were chock-a-block. Now, it was an offsite. So, Indigo was, chock-a-block. And you name it. So, we flew VietJet. But I think this is somewhere where Indians are dominating the scene. I did not go and visit places and check the underlying on how many destination weddings are taking place. And as no surprise, India is the top destination people who are subscribing to Vietnam and places like that. That is just a brief on what it is. That means hotels, tariffs, airlines, the whole biocenter around that is going to be expanding. So do your winners, pick and choose your winners. I still think Indigo, Indian Hotel and Ashok Leland as a conduit to the bus market, which is expanding very fast, could be outperformers. However, these have run up quite a bit. Ashok still becomes one of my top plays as far as the bus market, which is 53% market share, and the expansion of the airlines.
Okay, Sanjiv, good to have you on board. Thanks so much, as always, for joining in. Nishal Maheshwari as well connecting with us. Nishal, good morning. Let's get in your take first up, then maybe on...
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.